Hare Krishna, welcome to Bhakti Sangha Kids Academy. Today is Sunday, and Sunday is a very special day for Bhakti Sangha Kids Academy. It is special because all the children, Damodar, Govinda, Madhava kids come forward and do present their beautiful stories about Sri Krishna from the various scriptures. So today we have Dhruva who is going to present on Srimad Bhagavatam story King Puranjan. So I would like to give a small introduction about Dhruva. Dhruva is 10-year old. He got seed of bhakti at the age of 4 from her grace Lalitangi Mataji. He has been learning Bhagavad Gita from his mother Chaya Mataji. He learns Srimad Bhagavatam from her grace Arudha Mataji and Mataji makes a very deep impact on him. He also attained Balram Bhakti Vriksha in Charlotte, and under the guidance and blessings of His Grace Shureshwar Shyam Prabhu and Her Grace Shamagauri Mataji makes a frequent presentations on various Srimad Bhagavatam topics. He also loves to play basketball and likes to learn to code when he finds time. Hari Bol, Dhruva, very nice that we are having you on the call today. We are very fortunate to have you on the call, and I'm really very excited to learn about Srimad Bhagavatam story King Puranjan from you. And you are just 10-year-old and you are attempting to do Srimad Bhagavatam story. I'm so proud of you. Please now take over.
Hare Krishna Mataji, can everyone hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much for having me here and giving me this opportunity. So this is my presentation, and it's the story of King Puranjana. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Yananjana Shlakaya Chakshur Unmanitam Yena Tasmai Shri Kare Namaha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarne Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So the story begins. Let me just put this in the slide. Okay. So there was once a king named King Prachinabarhi, and he was always performing many karma kanda activities and animal sacrifices, and he wasn't engaged in devotional service. However, his sons, the Prachitas, were very Krishna conscious. So Narada Muni wanted to convince him to become a devotee. And in order to do this, he used the allegory of King Puranjana, and he did this to convince them that they are very similar and to convince him to become a devotee. King Puranjana and the city of the 9 gates. So there was once a king named King Puranjana, and he was very celebrated. And throughout this allegory, he represents the jiva or soul. And he was traveling everywhere looking for a suitable place to live. And after finding nothing, he became sad and disappointed. However, he then found the city of the 9 gates. And throughout this allegory, the city of the 9 gates represents the human body, and it's located in Bharatvarsha. So while traveling there, he found many things that satisfied him. And he also came across a beautiful woman and 10 servants. And the beautiful woman was protected by a 5-headed snake. The 5-headed snake represents the 5 life years, and the beautiful woman represents the material intelligence. And then the 10 servants also represent the 10 senses. So Puranjana then asks questions such as who the beautiful woman is, where she came from, and who her father is. And the beautiful woman does not know any of the questions, and she says that she does not know. And this is because whenever we come in this material world, we do not know who our father is, and we do not know our true identity, and we cannot tell that we are the jiva or the soul. So just like this, the beautiful woman does not know those things, and she cannot tell. So then Puranjana marries the beautiful woman, and he enjoys a lot of sense gratification with her. And he also always follows the beautiful woman. For example, whenever his wife is eating, he will go and eat. Whenever she is sleeping, he will go and sleep. And whenever she goes to sit, he'll also go to sit. Puranjana in the forest hunting. So Puranjana one day would take his bow and arrow, and he got in his chariot, and he had a lusty desire to hunt. And the reason for this was because he was influenced by many demonic qualities, and he killed many innocent animals without mercy. And as a result, he became very tired, hungry, and thirsty. So after becoming so tired, he went to go to his kingdom, and he went to go to his kingdom, and there he took a nice bath and ate some food. And here he started to feel a little guilty for killing so many animals. So he then started to look for his wife. And then he found that she was lying on the floor without bedding. And this surprised King Puranjana a lot. And here, the wife, which previously in the last chapter represented the material intelligence, she will here represent the spiritual intelligence. And she will be very sad that Puranjana killed so many animals. So Puranjana will say very nice things about his wife, and his wife will accept her. And Puranjana will then do many pious deeds. The attack by Chandavega on King Puranjana's city. So Puranjana would be enjoying a lot, and he was getting older, and his youth expired in just half a moment. He also had 1,100 sons, and he also begot 110 daughters, and that took away half his lifespan. And these sons and daughters represent the actions and reactions of the human. So the city then became crowded by all these grandsons and sons and daughters and granddaughters. However, in Gandharvaloka, there was a king named Chandavega, and Chandavega represents time. And he had 360 soldiers, which represent the days and nights of a year. And then they would attack King Puranjana's city. And the five-hooded snake was the only protector there. And the powerful warriors of Chandavega made him become significantly weaker. And when you think about this, this is sort of like how whenever you become older, time keeps attacking you, and that's how you become older and you start to lose some of your beauty and opulence. So the attack by Chandavega continued. So Puranjana was enjoying so much, he couldn't realize that he was on the verge of death. So that meanwhile, the daughter of time, Jara, who represents old age, was looking for a husband, and no one wanted to marry her because she was so mischievous. And she also asked Narada Muni to marry her, but Narada Muni would have declined the request, and Jara would have gotten extremely angry at this. So she then cursed Narada Muni that he cannot stay in one place and he will never have like a true home. But this was almost a blessing for Narada Muni because he loves to preach to devotees, and he can, if he doesn't have a true home, he can keep traveling all over the place to preach. So then Jara would go to King Yavana, and King Yavana gave her his brother Prajvara, the fever before death. And King Yavana will accept her as his sister, and he will employ Jara, Prajvara, and his soldiers to act according to his instructions in the material world. Puranjana becomes a woman in his next life. So as an addition, the reason why Jara marries Prajvara is sort of why, because like when you think about it as an analogy, it's that whenever you become old age starts to attack you, and then the fever or diseases start to come, and then you start to quickly die off. So then the king of the Yavanas, Prajvara, and Kalakanya, along with the army, began attacking Puranjana's city, and it was only being defended by the five life-bearers or the five-headed serpent. And Puranjana would then be embraced by Kalakanya, old age, or Jara, and he lost all his beauty and opulence, because when one becomes old, they cannot enjoy it. So at the time of his death, Puranjana kept thinking what would happen to his children and how his wife would take care of all of them after his death. So Puranjana would then come and arrest him along with his followers. And these followers represent the actions and reactions too. And this is sort of like whenever we leave our bodies and we go from different bodies and bodies, we carry our previous actions and reactions with us. So Yavanaraj will also arrest the five-footed serpent, and the city was thus destroyed. So, at the time of death, Puranjana was thinking of his wife. And as it says in Bhagavad Gita 8.6, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajati anta kalevaram tam tameva iti kaunteya sadatat bhava bhavitaha. Whatever state he remembers at the time of death, he will attain that state without fail. So Puranjana would then become a woman named Vidarbhi, the daughter of King Vidarbha. Puranjana as a woman. So Vidarbhi was posed to marry a very powerful man named Malayadwaja. And Malayadwaja was also very Krishna conscious. And after he conquered a princess, he married Vidarbhi. So they had one daughter and 7 sons, and they later ruled Dravida. So Malayadwaja was so Krishna conscious, he divided his entire kingdom amongst his sons and went to Kulachala, which is a solitary place. And his wife was so devoted to him, he followed to him like moonshine follows the moon. And Malayadwaja performed severe austerity and conquered all his senses. And he fixed everything upon Krishna. And Vidarbhi followed in the path of her husband and gave up sense enjoyment. So one day, Vidarbhi was massaging Malayadwaja's legs, and it felt cold. And thus she had realized he had passed from the body, and so she was extremely sad. Puranjana as a woman continued. So, while Vidarbhi was lamenting, a Brahmana came and asked her who she is, whose wife or daughter she is, and who the man lying there is, and if she recognizes him. Then the Brahmana says that he is her eternal friend, and this Brahmana represents the super soul. And he also says how Vidarbhi gave up him for the company for his company for the place as a material enjoyer. And being an enjoyer in the material world only comes out in giving very material things, and this place is extremely temporary, and everything you get from here is always gonna end soon. So he also uses the beautiful in that comparison as that how they're both like 2 swans far from our original home, which is the spiritual world, and that both swans live together in one heart, and that one swan is instructed by the other, and then he is situated in perfect Krishna consciousness. So then Vidarbhi will have perfect Krishna consciousness. Then Vidarbhi will attain perfect Krishna consciousness. So thus Narada Muni narrated the entire story of King Puranjana to Prachina Barshit and explained the story and its relevance to him. And Prachina Barshit was so touched that his sons, the Prachetas, will be meditating as per Shiva's instructions, and he will not even wait for them to come back to split the kingdom up. He will just leave the kingdom and he will then go to the forest to meditate. So, conclusion. All of material existence is only a dream. There's no questions of past, present, and future. The actual reality is Krishna and service to Krishna, which alone can save us from Maya. His Holiness A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So, this is the end of my presentation. Thank you for having me. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Thank you so much for having me, Mataji. And forgive me for any mistakes I made.
Sorry, I was unable to unmute myself. There was some problem in the mouse. Okay, Hare Krishna, Dhruva. Very, very beautiful presentation. Thank you so much for explaining so nicely the story of Puranjana. It was very, very nice. And ultimately, yes, there is no past, present, and future. The only thing is like we just need to surrender to Krishna. We should not get entangled with this 9 gates of body, right? It's a very nice story. Thank you so much for narrating. And please share your PPT with us. It's very nice, important, and so much information is there. We would love to learn more from that. And I would like to open up the forum for the questions, realizations. Please go ahead. Hare Krishna. Yes, you can say that.
Okay, so Your class was very nice. I like how you said this word.
Thank you, Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Dhruv. That was a very, very nice and wonderful presentation. And you spoke so much on that difficult topic. It's very difficult to understand for children. But I see that, you have made a very good attempt to understand it and present it. Thank you for sharing that presentation with us today.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Dhruva. I like your presentation very, very much. And even the allegorical story of Puranjana.
Thank you.
Krishna, Dhruva, that was a nice presentation. And I liked how you did this story. Hare Krishna, Dhruva, I really liked your story.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for the presentation. It was really nice.
Thank you for listening.
Hare
Yes.
Krishna, Durga. It's very nice presentation. Thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you, Mataji, for listening.
In my presentation is so much how you explained everything.
Thank you for listening.
Okay. Balabrinda want to say the sloka about Navadhare. That is in 5th chapter, right? It's related to it.
Okay, so I want to say Sarva Karmani Manasa Sannyasyaste Sukam Vase Navadare Mune De Naiva Karman Nakarayan.
Will you read the translation for me?
The embodied beings who are self-controlled and detached reside happily in the city of 9 gates, free from thoughts that they are the doors of the cause of anything.
Very nice recitation, Vrinda. Thank you so much for adding.
Thank you for your beautiful presentation. So now we will move to the Damodar presentation. So Devi, would you like to go first?
Yes, Mataji. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno Yatra Partho Dhanardhara Tatra Sarvajayo Bhutar Dhavani Terma Mama Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kaschin Me Priyakritama Kaschidhyatati Siddhaye Yatatamopi Siddhanam Kaschan Mam Vedi Tattvataha. Krishna. Mother Yashoda had a little boy, little boy, little boy. Krishna was his name. K-R-I, K-R-I-S-H-N-A. And Krishna was his name. Mother Rohini had a little boy, little boy, little boy. Balaram was his name. B-A-L-A-R-A. And Balaram was his name. Mother Sachi had a little boy, little boy, little boy. Nimai was his name. N-I-M-A-I. And Nimai was his name. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Sudevi. Subhadra, go ahead.
Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna Yatra Patha Dhanardharaha Taktasha Vijaya Bhutir Dhruva Nityarma Termama. Mother Yashoda had a little boy, little boy, little boy. Krishna was his name. K-R-I-S-H-N-A. And Krishna was his name. Mother Rani had a little boy, little boy, little boy. Balaram was his name. Balaram, and Balaram was his name. Mother said he had a little boy, little boy, little boy. Nimai was his name. N-I-M-A-I-N. Nimai was his name. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, sing. Okay, Vrinda will sing. Sing, Vrinda. Yatra
Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Pardo Dhanurdhara, Tatra Sri Vijayo, Ode Dhruva Naiter Mama.
Sing the line. Do you want to read the translation? Read the
I
translation.
want to read the translation.
Come. Can you please keep it aside? Read the translation whenever.
Whenever this
Sorry, when?
is Krishna, the master of the magical, and
Listen,
wherever there is Arjuna, the
Supreme archer.
archer,
There
will
also
contain the
certainly
opulent vector in their power in models that may
that is my opinion. Okay. Rhyme on the Mother Yashoda had.
Mother Yashoda had a little boy, little boy, little boy. And Krishna was his name. K-I-R-S-H-N-A, and Krishna was his name.
Mother.
Mother Rohini had a little boy, little boy, little boy, and Balaram was his name. B-A-L-A-R-A-M. And Balaram was his name. Mother Sachi had a little boy, little boy, little boy, and Nimai was his name. N-I-M. Nimai was his name.
Very good, Vrinda. Okay. Jahnavi, please go ahead.
Yata Yogeshwara Krishna, Yata Partha Dhanurdhara, Yata Shri Vijayobhuti Durvanitya Mama. Whatever there is Krishna, the master of all mystics, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and mortality. That is my opinion.
Done.
Mother Yashoda had a little boy, little boy, little boy. Krishna was his name. K-R-I-S-H-N-A, and Krishna was his name. Mother Rohini had a little boy, little boy, little boy. Balaram was his name. B-A-L-A-R-A-M, and Balaram was his name. Mother Sakshi had a little boy, little boy, little boy. Nimai was his name. N-I-M-A-I, and Nimai was his name.
Hari Bol, Krishna Keshav. Do you want to sing Hare Krishna?
Krishna Keshava.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Keshav. Do you want to say Hare Krishna?
He is eating, mother.
Good. Oh, you are eating. Good boy, good boy. Have a
Good
nice
boy.
prasadam. Hari Bol.
Does he want to
Thank
say Hari? Does he want to say Hari?
No, he will say Hari Bol. Raise your hands, Krishna Keshav. Big raise hands. Up your hands. Hari Bol. Good boy. Okay, now I would like to offer my obeisances to Dhruva and all little kids here, whoever assembled. Vancha kalpa tarupyasya Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Dhruv ki jai. Hari Bol, Damodar Govinda Madhava Kids ki jai. Thank you everyone for joining today's Sunday presentation. We'll meet you next Sunday presentation again, okay? With another beautiful kid who is going to present for us. Bye. Thank you, Dhruva. Thank you so much.
Mataji. Everyone.
Bye, Jahnavi.
Jahnavi.